Hello students, in today's class let us continue with the miscellaneous exercise in the trigonometry chapter. With this we will be completing this chapter and then we will revise what we learnt in the entire chapter, right? Now 8th question, find x by 2, cos x by 2 and tan x by 2. Given tan x equal to minus 4 by 3 where x is in the second quadrant. Understand the question properly. Tan ratio for angle x is given, but they asked you to find for x by 2. So full angle is given. They asked you to find the trigonometric ratios for the half angles. Okay, and x lies in the second quadrant. So before we get into the problem, first we analyze where x lies and where x by 2 going to lie. Now it is given x is in second quadrant. Now given that x is in second quadrant, which means x lies in between pi by 2 and pi, right? X lies in between pi by 2 and pi. Now we wish to know where x by 2 lies. So divide throughout by 2. This will become pi by 4. This will become x by 2. This will become pi by 2. So what does this imply? X by 2 lies between pi by 4 and pi by 2, which means 45 and 90, which means x by 2 lies in the first quadrant, right? X lies in the second quadrant, therefore x by 2 will lie in the first quadrant. Keep this information aside. Now let us proceed with our problem. So whenever required, we will use this to assign the sign for the trigonometric ratios. Now get back to the problem. Tan x is given, right? Tan x equals to minus 4 by 3 where x lies in the second quadrant. Now we know the relationship between tan square x and secant square x. 1 plus tan square x equals to secant square x. So substitute the value for tan square x. We got 4 by 3 the whole square, so it will become 16 by 9. So secant square x is 25 by 9. If you take square root, it will be square root of 25 by 9. Square root of 25 by 9, but which is nothing but 5 by 3, right? Secant x is 5 by 3. Now look at the sign of this secant x now. Now x lies in the which quadrant? Second quadrant. In the second quadrant, only sign and its reciprocal is positive. See, when it comes to square root, obviously we will have plus or minus, right? Secant x is plus or minus 5 by 3. We need to choose the sign. Now since x lies in the second quadrant, only sign and its reciprocal is positive. Secant is a reciprocal of cosine function. So therefore it will be negative. So you should write, since x lies in the second quadrant, secant x should be equal to minus 5 by 3, right? If secant x is minus 5 by 3, what will be cos x? Therefore cos x is reciprocal of secant x. It is going to be minus. Now we found what is cos x. Cos x is minus 3 by 5. But our question is to find cos x by 2, right? So what is the relation between single angle and half angle? I asked you to remember those identities even we used in the previous class, last class. What is it? Cos 2a. What is cos 2a? 2 cos square a minus 1. The another formula is 1 minus 2 sin square a. You can use any one of this identity. Now cos 2a is 2 cos square a minus 1. So what is cos a? Cos single angle. When it is double angle, it is single angle. When it comes to single angle, it is going to become half angle. Cos a equals to 2 cos square a by 2 minus 1. Now we are going to use this relation to get cos x by 2 value, right? Now cos x can be written as 2 cos square x by 2 minus 1. Therefore 2 cos square x by 2 minus 1 equals to minus 3 by 5. So this implies 2 cos square x by 2 equals to minus 3 by 5 plus 1. I brought this minus 1 to the other side, so it will become plus 1. So if you take LCM, minus 3 plus 5, which is nothing but 2 by 5, right? So this implies cos square x by 2 equals to 2 by 5. Again this 2 will come to the denominator because here we have 2 cos square x by 2. I brought this 2 to the other side. So 2 will get cancelled. So we got 1 by 5. We got cos square x by 2 equal to 1 by 5. Therefore, cos x by 2 is going to be square root of 1 by 5. Again check, we need to assign the sign now, and we told x by 2 is in the first quadrant. First quadrant all are positive. So this is going to be positive only. So this is 1 by root 5. So cos x by 2 is 1 by root 5. Once if we know cos x by 2, we can very well find sin x by 2, because what is the relation between sin and cos? We know sin squared x plus cos squared x equals to 1. Whatever the angle is going to be, if you have the same angle, then sin square theta plus cos square theta is going to be 1 only. Now we don't know what is sin square theta. So sin square x by 2 plus what is cos square x by 2? Cos x by 2 the whole square, or else cos square x by 2 we know, which is nothing but 1 by 5, which is equals to 1. Therefore sin square x by 2 equals to 1 minus 1 by 5, which is nothing but 5 minus 1, which is 4 by 5. So sin x by 2 is square root of 4 by 5. Again with the same argument, since x by 2 in the first quadrant, it is going to be plus. So 2 by root 5. Right? So you should write here, since x by 2 is in first quadrant. Here also, since x by 2 is in first quadrant. Right? Now we have to find tan x by 2. What is the relation between sin, cos and tan? Tan x by 2 is nothing but sin x by 2 divided by cos x by 2. What is your sin x by 2? 2 by root 5. Cos x by 2 is 1 by root 5. So root 5 will get cancelled. So tan x by 2 is 2. Right? Thus we found the 3 trigonometric ratios which they asked to find in the question. So what is the first and foremost thing you should do? First check where x by 2 lies. Where x lies and what does it imply? Where x by 2 lies, you have to find out everything, because to assign the sign, and then proceed your problem using the basic identities. Right? Hope you understood. Let us solve one more problem of this kind. Now let us solve 9th question, which is of the same kind. Now first, which is given x is in third quadrant. So first analyze its range where x lies. So x lies in third quadrant, that is x lies in between pi and 3 pi by 2, right? See, x is in third quadrant, first, second, third and the fourth quadrant. So x lies in third quadrant means x is here, which means pi to 3 pi by 2. This is pi by 2, this is pi, this is 3 pi by 2 and this is 2 pi, right? So x lies in third quadrant means it is from pi to pi by 2. Now we have to analyze what happens to x by 2. So this implies pi by 2 less than x by 2 less than 3 pi by 4. If we divide by 2, this will become 3 pi by 4. So x by 2 lies in between pi by 2 and 3 pi by 4. Pi by 2 means we know where is pi by 2. So 3 pi by 4 means we should know what angle does it represent actually. So 3 pi by 4, which is nothing but 3 into 180 divided by 4. Convert in degrees and check out. So which is 4 4s are 16, then 4 5s are 20, which is nothing but 3 5s are 15, 3 4s are 12 plus 1 13. So it is 135 degree. So x by 2 lies in between 90 and 135. So where is 90 and 135? 90 and 135 means till this it is 180, right? So it lies in the second quadrant. X by 2 lies in the second quadrant, where x lies in the third quadrant, right? Hope you understood now. So first analyze or examine the range of x and conclude the range of x by 2. Yes, after concluding the range of x by 2, let us move on and finding the remaining trigonometric ratios. And before that, we know the signs: all silver, empty cups. Since x by 2 lies in the second quadrant, only sine and its reciprocal will be positive. Since x lies in the third quadrant, only tan and its reciprocal is positive. That's why cos x is in negative, right? Now cos x value is given. So once we know cos x, we can find out sin squared x directly or cos squared x by 2 directly, right? So what is that relation? We know cos 2a equals to 2 cos square a minus 1. Therefore cos x is 2 cos square x by 2 minus 1. So using this relation, we can write cos x is equals to 2 cos square x by 2 minus 1. Cos x is minus 1 by 3 plus 1 equals to 2 cos square x by 2. Take LCM, 3 is your LCM, minus 1 plus 3, which is equals to 2 cos square x by 2. So which is 2 by 3, which is equals to 2 cos square x by 2. 2 will get cancelled. So this implies cos square x by 2 equals to 1 by 3. So this implies cos x by 2 is square root of 1 by 3. And we know x by 2 lies in the second quadrant, only sine and its reciprocal is positive. Therefore cos should be negative, which implies minus 1 by root 3, right? Because we know square root will give both the values plus or minus, we have to fix the sign. So that's why we are assigning minus. You have to write, since x by 2 lies in second quadrant. Now after finding cos x by 2, we know how to find our sin x by 2. We got cos x by 2 as minus 1 by root 3. We know the relationship, right? Cos square x by 2 plus sin square x by 2 equals to 1. So this implies sin square x by 2 equals to 1 minus cos square x by 2, which is 1 minus of 1 by root 3 the whole square, which is 1 minus if you square it will become plus root 3 the whole square is 3. Take LCM, 3 minus 1, which is 2 by 3. Therefore sin x by 2 equals to square root of 2 by 3, which is equals to going to be root 2 by 3 only, right? But what about the sign? We found x by 2 lies in the second quadrant, so it will be positive only. Sine and its reciprocal will be positive. So it is going to be plus root 2 by root 3. Now we need to find what is tan x by 2. Tan x by 2 is sin x by 2 divided by cos x by 2, which is equals to root 2 by root 3 the whole divided by minus 1 by root 3. Root 3 will get cancelled. So tan x by 2 is minus root 2. Yes. So this is how only you have to solve these kinds of problem. Hope you understood. The first and foremost thing you should do is examine the range of x and fix the range of x by 2, so that you can assign the sign for the trigonometric ratios. And remaining things is simply you have to use the identities. Cos 2a identity you have to use. Hope you understood. So thus we reached the end of the chapter. I am leaving the last problem to you to do it as homework. So before we wind up, I wish to revise what are all the things we learnt in this chapter. So to start with, we have learnt the basic identity cos square x plus sin square x equals to 1. Then we learnt what are all the quadrant angles. Then we analyzed the trigonometric values of all the quadrant angles. From that we came to a conclusion that the sine and the cosine function will remain same in the integral multiple of 2 pi. I repeat, we learnt the sine and the cosine functions will remain same. They do not change in the integral multiple of 2 pi. Then after analyzing the trigonometric ratios of the quadrant angles, we came to another conclusion that sine function will become 0 in the integral multiple of pi, and the cosine function will become 0 in the odd integral multiple of pi by 2. So to start with, we learnt all these things. Then we defined other trigonometric functions like cosine, secant and cot as a reciprocal of sine, cos and tan. Then from the basic identity sin square x plus cos square x equals to 1, we have derived the remaining two basic identities. 1 plus tan square x is secant square x, 1 plus cot square x is cosec square x. Then I told you this tabular form you have to remember. The basic trigonometric ratios for few standard angles from 0 to 2 pi, right? Then what we learnt about the sign of trigonometric ratios, and I told you cos of minus x is cos x, sin of minus x is minus sin x. The negativity will affect only the sine function, not the cos function. Then based on this we have learnt the sign of the remaining trigonometric ratios, all silver teacups. We learnt in which quadrant and which trigonometric ratios will remain positive. Yes, first quadrant all are positive, second quadrant only sine and its reciprocal positive, third quadrant only tan and its reciprocal positive, and in the fourth quadrant only cos and its reciprocal positive. After this we have learnt the domain and range of the trigonometric functions. We have seen for the sine and cos will behave in the same way, cosec and secant will behave almost in the same way, and tan and cot. If you see for sine and cos, the domain is going to be the entire real number system, whereas the range is between -1 and 1, closed interval. For cosec, since it's a reciprocal of sine, its domain is going to be the entire real number system except for x is integral multiple of pi, because we know sine will become 0 there, and the range is going to be greater than or equal to 1 or less than or equal to -1. In the sense it does not take up the value 0. There is no possibility for the cosec x to become 0, right? Then because we won't get 0 in the cosec values, right? Similarly for secant x is, since cos x comes in the denominator, x should not be equal to odd integral multiple of pi by 2. I have explained all these in detail in your previous classes. Then tan x and cot x, we have seen the domain and range. Then we have solved few problems based on this, how to find the trigonometric functions, trigonometric ratios when a particular value is given. Like this only we have solved in the last miscellaneous exercise. Here only x ratio is given and they asked you to find only the remaining ratios for the angle x. But in the last problem what we solved, they have given one trigonometric ratio for x and they asked you to find the other trigonometric ratios for x by 2. So you have to analyze the range of x by 2 properly, right? After this we have learnt very important trigonometric identities, sum and difference of two angles. Nearly 34 identities I told you have to remember, and I have given you few clues also. And when it comes to pi by 2, the trigonometric ratio will change. When it comes to pi and 2 pi, the trigonometric ratio won't change, only the sign will change. Keeping this in mind only, we have expressed the trigonometric ratios in terms of other while solving problems. Hope you remember. So learn all these identities. So if you know all these identities, we can very well solve the problems in the trigonometry. Thus we have come to the end of the chapter. So I'll give you few more additional problems for practice now. Sorry, after that we have learnt one more concept called trigonometric equations and how to solve it. What is the concept of principal solution and general solution? Principal solution, we restrict the range of x between 2 pi, whereas general solution we will give the generalized form in terms of n. And three solutions you need to remember: sin x equals to sin y, cos x equal to cos y, and tan x equals to tan y, right? So here I have given you nearly 10 additional practice problems. You are going to do by your own. I am not interested in spoon feeding you each and every problem. All these problems are of the same kind as we solved so far. So I want you to do it by your own. If you have any doubt in between while solving, you can contact me, or else I am not going to help you out. So do these problems as homework and post it in the group, including the last problem in the miscellaneous. exercise, and if you have any doubts you contact me, right? Thank you students.